Hey guys, we've had this Coleman CC100X mini bike for 2 years now, so it's time to give you our full review. If you want to check out our video of our unboxing, assembly, and first rides, see the link in the description. So let's get started. We're going to break our review down into 4 parts. Basic features, things we really like, things we don't like, and then our final recommendation. So if you want to see our final recommendation, stick around and watch the whole video. In the meantime, if you like any of our videos or you like this review, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot. All right, enjoy. The engine is a 3 horsepower 99cc lawnmower style motor with a cord pull start. It uses a number 35 motorcycle chain. This one has 140 links on it and a large single sprocket in the back. It takes regular unleaded gasoline. I don't know how big this is, but it really runs a long time for how much we ride it. Easy to fill right here at the top. It uses standard 10W30 oil, goes in right here. It's the oil here, easy to put in. Filled it up at the beginning and haven't changed it in 2 years. We probably should take a look at that. Top speed out of the box, I think we got 19 miles per hour. But the first thing I did was bend this throttle stop. I just bent it back so it doesn't get in the way of the throttle. With that out of the way, I think we're hitting 27 with the kids. I can probably hit maybe that. The kids might hit 30 even sometimes on this. All right, as far as weight capacity, my son is 11 years old, 67 pounds, 4 foot, how many? 4'7", and it's perfect size for him. I'm a 205 pound man and I ride it around. I'm 5'9", and it's small for me, but it gets me around. The other thing you might notice on this one is it does have a headlight and it does have tail lights. This is a mod that I did. I've got a full video on my channel. I've actually got 2 videos. It's got a switch here, turns them on, turns on the front headlight and the rear brakes. Not a brake light, just a tail light. And there's a battery box that I've installed underneath here. So that was a really fun mod, but that is a modification out of the box. It does not have any lights. All right, let's cover some of the positives. First off, this thing is just fun. It's great to ride around, it's quick, it's easy to start up, it's easy to jump on, and it's just a lot of fun. Everywhere we go, every time we ride it, or ride it around the neighborhood, people look at it and ask us about it. They watch us ride it, so it's just a lot of fun. Second, this bike is great for a wide range of ages. I'd say maybe as young as 8 or 9 could ride this motorcycle with little supervision. I'm in my upper 40s and I have a blast on this thing. And sometimes we even fit 2 people on here. When I ride it, I'll put the kids right in front between the handlebars, and it works great. It also starts up and is super reliable. It starts up easily. The kids can start it. Haven't had any problems. Usually within 1 or 2 pulls, it's ready to go. So it's been super reliable as far as starting and running. Also, parts have been easily to find, and I'll talk about that in just a minute of what I've needed to buy. And the mods I've done have been really easy to do as far as the lights. So I'm looking forward to doing some other things. I've seen other mods online that people have done in terms of speeding it up, adding lights, fixing things. So really easy to work with. All right, just like everything, this bike is not perfect. It has a few things that I'll cover. And so let's dive into some of the issues we've had with this bike. The first main thing that I've had trouble with from time to time is dealing with the chain and the sprocket. I've had the chain come off on me 5 or 6 times. I've busted the chain a couple of times. I think one of the main reasons is the sprocket, this part, is so large and is so low to the ground. So when you turn left, see how low it gets? It's almost less than an inch from the ground. So you gotta be really careful when you're riding this on any gravel, or if you're hitting large rocks or any stumps if you're on a little trail. So you do have to be careful. That could easily pop off the chain, and that's happened to me several times. I did replace this chain. I did buy a new chain, and I bought a set of master links, and a few times I've had to replace that master link. So that's been the main issue that I've had to deal with this little mini bike. The other thing is the brakes. I wouldn't really call this an issue because they're so easy to adjust, but I believe that the brake pad is very small, and you can see as my son pulls the brake here, you can see the caliper moving in and the brake pad coming in. Okay, so I've had to adjust that a few times. And one time when I adjusted it, the caliper kind of came apart and was hard to put back together, but really overall, I've got another video on my YouTube channel showing exactly how to adjust the brakes. But I think over time that could become an issue with the small pad. I haven't had to replace it in 2 years, but I have had to adjust the brakes and push it in closer, so I think my brake pad will be running out very soon. The other issue, I think I already mentioned it at the outset, is the throttle. Okay, when you pull that throttle back initially out of the box, it's gonna stop it a little earlier. Your throttle is gonna be governed. So you just gotta either remove this bolt, bend it back, or cut it off, and you'll get some more throttle early on. Another issue is climbing capacity. When I'm on this thing, trying to go up a hill in the neighborhood, it really doesn't go uphill very fast, so it's nice and slow. I think with the kids, when the kids are on it, I think it does go uphill a little faster, wouldn't you say? Yeah, definitely faster when the kids are going uphill. But with me on it, it doesn't really go uphill, so it doesn't have climbing power. So that's one thing you'll need to be aware of. Also, out of the box, again, I mentioned this before, there's no lights. So if you want to drive it at night, you're going to be without lights. Unless you follow my video and take all my parts that I've linked to in my other video, you can get a nice light kit on that thing. One other issue that I should have mentioned is chain tension. I have mine set pretty good right now. There is a tensioner here. You adjust this back to bring tension to the chain. But originally out of the box, and when I put on the new chain, I was not able to get enough tension even with this all the way back. So I had to do a mod. I took the engine block off the bike and I ground down this plate. See this plate right here? It was butting up against the red and I couldn't get it. I couldn't slide the engine block further this way. By sliding the engine block further this way, you could get more tension on the chain. So I did take off this plate. I used an angle grinder and I ground down this front edge, which allowed me to slide the engine block further forward this way. So if that happens to be the case with your mini bike out of the box, you may have to do that mod or find some other way to get good tension on your chain. Okay, the final thing is there is no suspension on this bike. So it is a pretty stiff ride. If you're riding on anything other than a road, you're gonna feel it. It's gonna be very bouncy. There's no front suspension, there's no rear suspension. It makes it very responsive when you're riding around the neighborhood. So, but that is one thing to be aware of, is that there is no suspension. So you'll feel it. All right, so that covers it, I think, for the basic features, things we really like, and issues we've had with it, things you might want to be aware of. So for our final recommendation, should you get this bike? We think absolutely yes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun and I've had a blast. Reese, what do you think?
I think it's really fun. It can go pretty fast. The acceleration isn't so great, but it's really, really fun.
So if you can find a good deal on this mini bike, maybe at Walmart, we got ours for $350. If you can find a good deal, I'd say definitely snag it and have a lot of fun with your kids or just ride around yourself in the neighborhood. All right, thanks for watching. Enjoy your mini bike.